right, and so here our mobile crisis internal notes. These are delivered to me on paper, and I scanned them using my iPad. This is my first time scanning documents using my iPad. I had these notes laying on a chessboard as I scanned them, and I've obviously not done too well here because I've got wood on the side, but they're it's otherwise unusable. So here is Ginger Marsh. She's a certified, the CSAC is a certified substance abuse counselor. She's got a bachelor's degree, and she's got here that I call on 4/17/19 from 5:58 to 3-minute call. Here's my name and date of birth here. All of this is correct. And then the first thing here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, 80%. Do this, please. That doesn't help a lot, does it? See the first thing. So off the bat, okay, they can't keep track of my date of birth. They also miss my suffix, the third, which is fine. Okay, but we'll continue on with this page. Okay, if I can get up here. Okay, so there's Jennifer referring me. There's my cell number. Okay, a three-way call between consumer and his friend Jennifer. His friend is concerned due to paranoia and vague SI text. I believe the SI stands for suicidal ideation or suicidal intent from consumer. Okay, now consumer, that's me. Consumer initially wanted to speak to mobile crisis over the phone. Consumer's friend denied safety concerns. Okay, so Jenny doesn't think that there's any safety, that there's anything harm, any potential that I'm going to do harm for myself or others. So that's something to note there. However, consumer called back and agreed to dispatch. Okay, they record that I'm not in immediate danger. Now look at this: presenting problems, psychotic. Okay, this woman is a social worker with a bachelor's degree. You do not diagnose people as psychotic over the phone. Furthermore, there was nothing remotely. I mean, this is bullshit. Straight out of the gate. Okay, I mean, what is this horse shit right here? This is ridiculous, and we're on page 1. Okay, so in 3 minutes, she diagnoses me, which I want to have to trim that call. I've got the call. What's going on there? I've got the call with Jenny. We're going to make this 3-way, and in the beginning of the call, me and Jenny are talking and arguing, and we bring up some stuff in her personal life that she doesn't want people to know, and that's why I don't have that call on my evidence package. What I can do is I can get that call and pull it up, and I can trim it so that we only have the time of the time that I'm calling. I'm calling to talk to these people. Okay, so there she's signed it. Okay, and again, she's a certified substance abuse counselor. How in God's name she how in God's name is she diagnosed anyway with anything, much less my diagnosing with psychotic? And again, listen to that call on 4/16/2019. Quite obviously, I'm fine. Okay, it was one day before this. Okay, so now this is Allie Rowe, who has a bachelor's in social work. She's here. Okay, she has this for 3 minutes. Okay, wait, never mind. So this is the treatment plan. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this treatment plan. So here's Allie Rowe's notes. So 6:28 to 7:08 p.m. It's when she's in those times. I'm not sure. That's probably right. I'll give her that, probably. And I'm not sure that that's material if it's wrong either. Okay, mobile crisis received a call from Jennifer Cox requesting mobile crisis assistance with connecting her friend, a 38-year-old SCM. I believe most likely the SCM stands for single Caucasian male. 38-year-old SCM services. Miss Cox conferenced her friend, consumer, an abbreviation in friends there, they got consumer, into the call and disclosed that she was concerned about paranoid thoughts and delusions. Consumer denied thoughts and delusions, but consented to have mobile crisis dispatched to his residence. Okay, mobile crisis arrived on scene and were greeted by consumer in the living room of his home. Consumer shook hands and made eye contact. Okay, So first off, this is interesting to note here, shaking hands and making eye contact. That's a little contrary to this assessment of me being, again, you'll see is down in these notes, they assess me as being in an active psychosis. That's what they call this. It's bullshit, but that's, so first off, already this is a fact that doesn't kind of jive with the rest of their narrative. Mobile Crisis observed consumers to be dressed in navy windbreaker pants and a t-shirt. Mobile Crisis observed consumers to appear sweaty despite the cool temperature in his apartment. That is absolute bullshit. I'm a bookworm. My apartment, I keep it between 65 and 70 constantly. It's people shiver when they walk in my apartment. I keep it from the mountains. I get hot easy, and so I do not sweat in temperatures like this. I was not sweating that day. This is April 2019. So we're in springtime, and I don't go out. Again, I'm a bookworm. My skin is extremely pale, and that's because I next to never go outside. Out in the heat. And so this is just this is a false detail here. Okay, consumers appear disheveled with poor hygiene and slightly overweight. Okay, disheveled is wrong. Okay, that's incorrect. Poor hygiene. I have bad teeth because I didn't take care of my teeth when I was a kid. So for the longest time, since I was even just a teenager, my teeth have been horrible. But at this time, I kept my nails trim. I was trying to get my web development business going, so I was conscious of how I looked. If I go in and see some clients or something, so I kept my head shaved. I went to the barber and get a straight blade. Shave my head with a straight blade every 2, 3, 4 weeks. That I would have my head shaved, with a razor. And so when they got here, I would have either had no hair, or my hair would have just been barely grown out. And so poor hygiene as a general characterization is absolutely wrong. Slightly overweight, that is accurate, and they bring up this overweight again later. But what is the purpose of giving this detail? Okay, why do we care? As a bunch of social workers in a crisis line, again, 70% of Americans are overweight. They put this on 70% of their reports. As you'll see, the sole purpose of this is to further cast me in a bad light. Okay, Mobile Crisis observed consumers' apartment to be malodorous, dirty, filled with trash, and empty food containers, and overall untidy. Mobile Crisis observed the only clean couches to be the couch, which consumer later reported he cleaned off for Mobile Crisis visits, and the bookshelf, which was well stocked with numerous books. So first off, I don't have a bookshelf. I have 7 bookshelves. But let's look at this. Okay, malodorous is a lie. Okay, nobody's ever complained of an odor in my apartment. Not the maintenance people who are here all the time. Not people who visit me. And not long after these crisis counselors were here, my paid cleaner was here. After the fact, when I got these notes, I asked her if she'd ever noticed any kind of a smell in my apartment. She says no. That the air is just kind of stale. So malodorous is a lie. Filled with trash, filled with that's an exaggeration. Overall untidy is not an exaggeration, but you'll notice that they do not fill in the details here as to my explanation as to why this would be. And again, if you're assessing somebody, if you're going to try to make a claim, or somehow you're trying to, is this person paranoid and having delusions, and whatever condition is accompanying that, it's a very, very material thing. This rationale that I gave them, because in one scenario, this filled with trash, malodorous apartments, this whole description, this is a fact that is supportive of someone who has some kind of a mental illness symptoms at present. Okay, that someone does it for economic reasons, and they have a perfectly rational reason for doing this that makes sense to anybody, that is not supportive of any such case to be made that I have some sort of psychosis or whatever they want to say that I have. It's further, the fact that I can reason and talk about how it makes sense to be economical. That instead of me, I'm spending multiple hours a day for 6, 7, 8 days, and forfeiting all the money or the progress I could make in my business that would come from that. It's easier for me to pay somebody $100 to come in here and clean it one day, That again, I very clearly have the capacity to reason, and so this is a material omission here. Okay, mobile crisis observed consumers to be guarded, irritable, defensive, and agitated. Okay, so guarded is not that I'm not guarded. Okay, now irritable, defensive, and agitated. Here they need to pick one. Agitated is the most accurate. Okay, and maybe they could do irritable and agitated. But this is kind of an excessive descriptor here. That again, I would describe. I'm agitated. I'm kind of but I guess I guess irritable is one way. That would be accurate too. And I mean, why not? I'll just go ahead and give them defensive. Who cares? Just give them defensive. But all what this describes, okay, what these adjectives describe is they're in reference to this thing where they cut me off, and I get pissed off at them and tell them, listen, if you don't like my answers, then get out of here. Okay, I would get very, very frustrated. Okay, a mobile crisis observed consumer to be fixated on giving his entire mental health history. Okay, mental health. MH is mental health. HX, that's a shorthand for history in the way they write these clinical reports. These social workers. Okay, so first off, I'm giving them my mental health history in response to this woman being obsessed with it and repeatedly interrupting me. Okay, so this this obsession that I have, or this fixation on giving my entire mental health history, that is in response to her. Okay, going back to childhood, it's more the same there. Okay, observed, increasingly agitated when asked to answer his question directly. Yeah, I am agitated, okay? Because, again, so first off, I have no legitimate problem. I've had a terrible, terrible day. I'm agitated as hell. I'm pissed off my friend Jenny. This situation has drove me mad. And so I'm in a very, very bad mood. I'm very, very pissed off and agitated for very, very good reason. But we don't have a crisis. So that's the first thing, is there's no point in them being here. But if they are going to be here and they're going to function as crisis counselors, my concern is I want to tell them about all this and the background and how frustrating and terrible it is. I'm seeking to be understood as a human being. Okay, to have some kind of to tell them my frustrations, and to have kind of a therapeutic interaction. I'm not interested in somebody just coming in here and getting, do you have mental illness? And so that's your diagnosis. They give them two facts so they can jet out the door. I mean, who wants to do this? I mean, it's stupid. I'm very rightly aggravated at them over that. So consumer began to fixate on his past mental health history, including medication history, despite redirection from mobile crisis team or mobile crisis. Consumer was unable to answer direct questions. That's bullshit. To have tangential and disorganized thought processes. Okay, so first off, I do have a long documented history that is very common and typical for me to speak tangentially. Okay, that's when I'm narrating something or when I'm explaining something, I will very frequently go off on tangents, and I have a kind of roundabout, a kind of circuitous way at times of explaining things. Okay, but disorganized thought processes. That's bullshit. Okay, that's absolutely. I was talking to them in much the same manner that I'm talking to you right now as you're watching this video, is how I was talking to them. And so I'm going to cut this video off and pick up right where I left off in the next video.